introduce yourself.
I'm KM. It's kind of my initials. It's my first name, my middle name. It's much easier to pronounce than my real name. My real name's Kara, but nobody can pronounce it. I always get Kara or Kara or some weird ass shit. So, yeah, yeah.
And what do you do?
I do music, I act, I dance, I write my own shit, I do poetry, kind of some everything.
Mm. And where were you born?
I was born in Rockford, Illinois. Born in Rockford Memorial Hospital. Hometown. I always love it when I come home.
Mm, sweet. And why why music?
Honestly, I feel like just as a child, I grew up around so much different fucking music. Like when I say I'm talking, there's not a genre I didn't get to listen to, I didn't get to touch. And I feel like with music being so heavily, you know, influential in our family, I had my siblings, my dad was into music, all of my friends. It was just like a big era of music. Like, what is music? And I noticed like my brothers were my biggest inspiration. They were always working on music. As a child, I probably wrote songs and I didn't get too into it. I would write it, push it aside. But like my brothers was always like having that hope, and they're really the reasons why I began to get music so serious since day one. They had those fucking tape recorders with the damn tape, the things that would roll back and we would play back and listen, and they've just been so dedicated. So I feel like just having them around has really impacted me as a person for music.
And can you tell us who your brothers are?
All right, so I got Dre. Y'all know Dre. I got KV. That's my twin, KV Finn. Um, my little brother Isaiah. I got K Dub, my big brother Keon. Um, and that's it on the blood side. But I got hella brothers out here.
Yeah, genre. What was your favorite genre?
I think as a child, growing up, like pop was my thing. I was always like considered the quirky girl, so I like to listen to what most people didn't. Rap was definitely, heavily affiliated in my life, but like nobody wanted to really listen to pop, so I was always trying to dive in. And then I had my older brother, Keontae. He was, introducing me to rock heavily, so it was just different. But I think growing up, my favorite genre was like R&B and pop, for sure.
Mm. And when you started to do your own music, was it easy or was it hard?
I want to say when I first started, I would get writer's block a lot because I feel like being so young, trying to do music, you worry about what the world is thinking, what they want to hear, what's the right word to say. Should I not say that word? Let me take it back. Like, that's probably not good. Like, but once you started actually perfecting your craft, you stop giving a fuck about. You don't write music for nobody else. You write it for yourself, and whoever falls in, they start fucking with that shit. And you feel me? They either like it or they don't. Like, that's kind of how it is. So, I think writing is easier for me now because I go off experiences. I go off vibes. I go off of how this beat making me feel like, and it's more so it's either something that get me motivated. I'm finna tell you a story, or we finna vibe out. Like, so yeah, writing was definitely hard for me, and when I was younger, but now it just flow. It just flow.
Mm. Did you also have any pressures having relatives or siblings that did music? Like, did you feel the pressure from like?
Mm, I would say maybe no. I feel like with my brothers always being so in it, it wasn't that hard for me. It was kind of like that's like being a part of a fucking ring around the rosy circle. Like, one jump, we all jump. One fall, we all fall. So it was kind of like just having their support. I was already introduced to the things that I need to know. They would put me on, teach me this, help me learn this. They kind of built me as an artist. I would say that, and gave me the tools and the assets that most people have to learn hardly on the hard way. But having them by my side was really like just my key to gateway basically.
Mm. And can you tell me the first? Well, if you can tell me a story, the story of the first time you making a track or you recording on a track.
Yeah, my first real song was Uber to the Plug. Um, it was just really a goofy song. Like a lot of people thought it meant like let's Uber to go get some drugs, but it really didn't. It was more so like don't ride on my fame for your success. Like don't try to, piggyback off my good doings to make it to where you're trying to go. A lot of people didn't get that message because I don't know. I feel like when I make music, it's more deeper within. You got to really be lyrically inclined to understand what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it's definitely a decent song. Would I say it's my favorite? No. I feel like I've definitely tapped into my creativity more. And yeah, Uber was my first one. Our first one, we dropped a video too. It was really exciting for me because obviously that was my first time going to the studio. But I remember the first time, like I went in there, it was one take. Like I had practiced it so much, I had the beat in my soul. Like so, it was really easy to go in there and record and just listen to the magic be made. Um, but yeah, Uber to the Plug was my first song. I definitely say I grew so much more. My voice has changed, the music. Like just coming from that song, you can definitely see like, yeah, that's definitely not the same artist.
Side note, real quick, I love that song.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, and that's something I didn't know. I didn't know that it meant like somebody writing off your success.
Yeah.
I thought it literally meant like if
To
you
the
want some, yeah,
See,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of a lot of people thought, she like let's Uber to the plug, like that's what we finna do. But it was just basically like people try to suck you dry. They try to get what they can, and long as you in the light, they gonna get their light too. They gonna get they energy to feed their body. So it's like, nah, you find your own way. Don't find my way. Like, yeah.
TV for the Uber to the plug.
Oh.
Did you do a single by your own and then did you do it with KB or was it you and KB right away?
Yeah, it was me and him right away. I think I picked him just because our energies, like the way we are together, is fucking nuts. Like our energies are just hype, and I think I thought about how the video would be. But once again, my brother was very known, and I'm like, I need some fast shit on this track. Like I need somebody to take off. So I knew my brother definitely would handle the job. And then it was like our first twin track, so it was like, damn, this something different. And honestly, I didn't think about having anybody else. He's the one that like we sat and listened to the beat. He like, damn, that shit go crazy. He like, let me get on that. Let me get on that. So it was just like, a mutual agreement thing, and we just hopped on it. So yeah.
Oh, sweet. And you said that was also your first video. How was that? Who did you pick to like?
Oh shit.
Like who did you pick for your videos, or was it just somebody that offered it to you, or?
Got you. I had my toxic ass ex fiance in the video. Yeah, she was toxic as fuck. No shade though. Like I'm healed. I'm cool. But yeah, I picked her in the video. We had first just hit it off, and I was like, yeah, like I want to have my girl in my video. I don't recommend that shit ever. But yeah, so I'll never be able to unsee that video. But yeah, I had her in it. Basically, the meaning of the video had nothing to do with the actual words, but I had a few friends in there dancing, my brother, me, and then I was just like singing to this random ass girl every blue moon, like who the fuck is she? She was very awkward as fuck in it as well. Like everybody kept wondering, is this supposed to be how the video is? Like why is she so shy? What's up to her? But yeah, and then my brother, we used like this car garage scene over off of what is it, Alpine, I think. But yeah, we just used some different scenes.
Wait, so your ex directed the video?
No, she was in the video.
Oh, okay.
I had was it my brother Dre? Damn, I feel shitty. I think my brother Dre directed Uber to the Plug, honestly. I can't think of anybody else. If it wasn't Dre, it was probably like Kodak or something. I honestly think it was Dre though, not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Shit, that shit was years ago. But yeah, that's who directed it. We had a lot of fun. One scene, like towards the garage scene, it was fucking raining. Nobody even knew it, but we was still having fun. We was lit. It was definitely good energy.
Now, what were your thoughts for the first video? Like, did you want to have a story to it, or were just like, let whoever's shooting that direct it?
Um, I guess I didn't have as much pieces as I wanted to. It's kind of like we just went with the flow. You know, I'm like, hey, I want to do it here. I want to do here. So once we got there, it's like, hey, what we finna do now? But I definitely don't do my videos like that now. Like we just shot Not Sober yesterday. And you definitely got to have your story lined out. What are we doing here? What am I trying to get out of this scene? Like, I think coming from my first video, like, you definitely got to have shit actually laid out to make sense. I mean, not all cases, but definitely in my case. Um, so yeah.
Sweet. Okay, now I definitely want to talk about your Pure K album. 18 tracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot. I like it. I love it. You know, usually when people do an album, they say they do an album and they do like small, like
Increments.
8 tracks. Dude, that pisses me off because I feel like that's not enough. I come from the time where you had at least 20 of them. You know what I mean? So, what made you want to do this 18-track album?
Honestly, I had fun making Pure K. It was definitely different. You know, I'm a part of Legacy LGC, so I was like the first person to release a full album, and this was like way before COVID hit, and I just had been working. I remember I was just beat back to beat, you know, and I would write songs at work, and I would tell myself like everything's got to be beautiful. If you don't love it, you're not releasing it. So I would work like 12-hour shifts, and I'd be, you know, working on company time, writing my songs. And I can just remember, I'm like, I want to be different. I want to be diverse. I don't want every beat, every song to be familiar. So I just remember telling myself, like, this is going to be something completely different. And I wanted to make sure that there was a song for everybody to vibe to. Like, everybody to vibe to. I can think, like, once I finished the album, we had, like, this big-ass album release party. And, like, I didn't realize it was really done until, like, the fucking album release sold out. Like, all the tickets, all the CDs were sold. Like, so many people were there. I had a whole bunch of people come and perform. It was COVID time. So, like, a lot of, you know, shit wasn't really going on. So, it was just like, damn, wait, we can perform. So, I had a lot of people come and perform. And it was just pure love. Like, I honestly think I didn't even realize the album was out until the album release. But just being able to, you know, play the music back to back and hear everybody's opinion, it just made me like, okay, I got to work on my next project. Like, what's next? Like, I'm excited. So, yeah.
Yeah, because you have a little bit of everything. You got rap, singing, like techno or pop.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, dude. I really like that, man. When you have a bunch of tracks and then everything's not the same.
Yeah.
Everything's diverse. Like, was it hard to come up with that? Did some take longer than others? Because I imagine
Okay,
like
yeah.
the pop, the singing, that takes a little bit longer than rap. Because rap you can just go on beat real quick.
I would say it wouldn't take too long, just because you feel me? I love all that shit, but I think trying to get the sound right, like, what do I want? How do I want to do it? I did have a few different songs that, like, I probably rewrote 3 times, like, because I'm like, no, I don't like it. No, I don't want to sound like that. But, you know, I feel like everyone's first album is, it's kind of like your scratch sheet, your practice sheet. Like, a lot of people may love it, but it's like, we got so much more to come. Like, it's not really what I am yet. So it's like, yeah, I definitely feel like trying to separate the genres was my goal. So when I would go and look for these beats, or, you know, my brother sent me some beats, like, this is what I want it to sound like. You know, I might tell him, example, I might say, like, I want a California techno beat, for instance. And I don't know what that sounds like to you, but I would want you to think about California techno. There's no specific sound. I just want a certain type of beat. So I was really picky when it came to my beats, because I'm like, I need the vibe to fit with what I'm trying to go with in order to continue writing. So, yeah, definitely splitting up the genres was my goal. It was challenging sometimes, but I feel like, shit, I was at work bored as hell. Yeah, I feel like your mind just gets to going, and it's like the energy and creativity just get to flow, and you like, fuck, okay, I got a song now. Like, but sometimes it'll just be piece by piece. I might write 2 bars tonight at work, and while I'm driving, I come up with another bar. And then, you know, it's just kind of like, piece by piece out, depending on how much time I had, if my mind was in the right space and whatnot. But yeah.
And now, what was your favorite track from that album?
Oh shit.
Or name at least top three if you want,
Top
or
three.
just one.
All right, so top three. For one, I love Mixed Vision Vibes because it's fucking different and it's like a radio hit. Like, I literally, it's singing, but it's like, it's so different. I will say I love Summer Thoughts remix or the normal one. Summer Thoughts was just literally a vibe. You ride around, bang that shit. Like, it's just a vibe. And then I'm going to have to say Ooh Pretty. That's a big fan favorite. Ooh Pretty for sure, just because it's the energy. Like, just something to hype you up, the beat. So, Pure K was for my first name, Kara. So, first initials, K. And it's basically like the absolute uncut me. Like, you kind of getting some diverse. You getting her weird, funky moods. Like, okay, she's feeling funky this song. She's feeling angry this song. She's feeling, so it was just kind of like purely me and all my emotions. Kind of like different personalities in a way. Like, what am I feeling today? What's my mood? How is, my mental today? Am I feeling quirky? Am I feeling, you know, stuck in a bubble, a shell, whatever, millions of moods each day. But yeah, Pure K was basically focusing on my emotions and who I truly am as a person and how I vibe with my music.
And if you don't mind me asking, what made you want to do the track talk show?
Oh, um,
Which is, I think, is a brilliant idea, because you talk about how you felt doing it, So I think that's pretty cool.
honestly, talk show was really fun. I did it with my manager Maria. Talk show was more to kind of help people understand not only my goal but like how I aim to achieve this album, and just more so of like why I am the way I am in a way in the music industry. So it's kind of like, in a way, I didn't really give a fuck, but I gave a fuck enough to, share why I kind of am diverse and what, you know, my goals are of being an artist. So yeah.
Like, what made you want to write?
I actually wrote a book. I haven't published it. Man, publishing is something else.
I think writing is just something else. So.
I don't know. Since I've been a child, I had a passion for like scrapbooking, journaling. That was like my whole scene. Like I could journal all day. I had a bad day, I had a good day. I would sit down and I write. Sometimes it'd be long ass pages. I had these journals, these diaries. So that was really easy for me. Like I've always been a writer. Like in school, English class, like we had to write a story, make a paper. Like I could do that shit. Like it was just like my mind knew how to let the pen flow. But I wrote a book. It is called Naive Thoughts and Uncertainty. And it's basically about domestic violence and just picking bad friends, just bad decisions I've made in my relationships and my friendships, to maybe hopefully help somebody else, and red flags of how you can be fooled into, being manipulated. And, when people say they love you, this is what they may do, if they are those toxic individuals. So that book was definitely not easy to write. It took me like a year, not gonna lie. It took me like a year. But once I got the book, finally written, it was kind of like, all right, what do I do now? Got the book cover, got all these things, and, it was just like, okay, when do we release it? And now I'm like kind of in the phase where like, do I want to release it? I got people saying, oh, books aren't the thing right now. So it's like, okay. But yeah, I wrote it. I started my second book. I do enjoy writing, and just reading back, it's like, damn, like that shit's deep. And then it makes you wonder, like, I don't even feel like that no more. Like, damn, that's really how I felt in that moment. So I feel like writing really helps you reflect the old self. And that's what I enjoy, because it helps you see how much you've grown as a person. So that's why I fuck with writing. But I mean, it could be a story and I'm going to make that bitch saucy. So, yeah.
Do you feel like writing really helps with the lyricism or the making music easier?
Yes, I do. I also feel like vocabulary helps. So if you got writing and vocabulary, like You can make some shit up. Like, I mean, I feel like rhyming isn't hard. You just have to really think outside the box. Like, you want to be very intricate with, you know, what are you writing? How am I writing it? Don't get me wrong. You got some mumble rappers, they'll make a banger. Like, no problem. But it's like, when you get that vocabulary into your writing, like, it really makes them wonder, like, damn, what this big ass word mean? Or damn, like, how, look how they use this wordplay. Like, it makes you think. And I feel like that's where the real passion of rap comes from.
And now in burglary, you had mentioned someone knocking in your door. Now, tell me if I'm paranoid or not, but I believe I've also heard KV and Dre mentioning something like this. Is it related?
I don't know what theirs is.
Okay.
I I don't I don't know what theirs is. Maybe KV, because we've been robbed before as kids, so that could have been what he was relating to. Um, and burglary particularly, that was a different scenario. But yeah, that was a real robbery, but it was just, from a family friend that, I thought I could trust. I helped her get on her feet, took care of her, and she basically, did me dirty. And it was real surreal, like something I didn't really think would ever happen. I went to work and it was kind of like I had no way to stop shit. So yeah.
And I also want to talk about LGC. When was the first time you heard it? Did you want to join it right away, or how did you feel about LGC?
LGC, that's my family. But before LGC, there was IMZ in my zone. And I remember, I was a part of that too. But when they mentioned, like, oh, we're finna change this shit up, like, new logos, new meaning, like, new representation of what we represent, like, it was just like, okay. I wasn't really up for it because, once you're stuck to one thing, it's kind of like, why are we changing it? What's wrong with it? But the more everybody started swaying into it and actually being open to change, it was honestly what we needed, I feel like. Yeah, I feel like it was like a family thing. No, you weren't just thrown into it if you were family, but it was how you were committed. What were you willing to do to, you know, dedicate yourself and be a part? What part were you going to play? What part were you going to make sure fulfilled to make sure we reach our goal as, a family group? So, yeah, no, I wasn't opposed to LGC at first, but I definitely love that we've grown and changed so much. And I feel like LGC isn't just a brand. It isn't just a logo. Like, it's literally like in me. Like, just the way we move, how we help people, how we look out, love. Like, it's literally a overall family affair, I'd say.
What do you do when you're not in the music mode?
Not in music mode. I love going to the gym. I love drinking water. I probably am dancing somewhere. I do like to look up acting roles and stuff. I live in Georgia, so I try to see what's out there, what's available. I enjoy spending time with my dogs. If I'm not working on music, I'm probably researching. I'm doing something to make my mind stronger, doing something to better myself overall. Or I'm, with family, stuff like that. I love painting. I really love painting. I'm not good at that shit, but it's very fucking relaxing. I like self-love and relaxing my body. Like, I'm big on mental health and self-love. So I think that if I'm not doing that, I'm probably focusing on some self-love.
And yeah, you did mention moving to Georgia. Why the move, if you don't mind me asking?
The move was kind of to open the windows of more opportunity. I love my city. Every time I come home, it's nothing like home. But I wanted to kind of test the waters and see what more opportunity was out there available for me. So I knew that the Georgia tip, it was a little more things going on. I left around COVID. So when I left, nothing was going on at home, like, at all. So having them, I see that nothing's going on, basically. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go to Georgia. Georgia wasn't as shut down as we were during the COVID time. So I'm like, all right, let me go hit up some opportunities, try to connect. That was really my goals, and it still is, chase my dream, and have something to come back home for. So yeah.
How is Georgia with the music scene, or how is it out there? Like, is it easy for creators?
I would say Georgia is definitely a place where you got to know some people who know some people. I will say it's very awkward because like you'll find a connect and like it's very different. Like they sexualize women a lot out there. I say that. So, um, it's definitely different on the music tip. Like you got to really research your people because you'll find some people that, they may say, "Hey, I got this going on. Like I really want you to shoot this show or do this or do that," and like they got sex on their mind. So it's like you really got to be careful and tedious with what you just jump in and do and really do your research. So I ain't gonna lie, I enjoy it. It's definitely different than home, and it's taught me and molded me to be different. But yeah, you just gotta the music tip. You gotta be really careful and take your time. See, I what I do is I try to perfect my craft, focus on what I gotta do, hit some studio time, and then I focus on my promotion. So then when I do go out, I have these promoting things already lined up for me, and that's how I let my social medias kind of get the people to me instead of going out looking because there's so many damn predators and weird fucking people out there. And that's anywhere, anywhere in life. But coming from home to Georgia, it's definitely very sexualized. I will say very, very sexualized. Like when I first moved there for a while, like I couldn't make no friends at all. All the people were just trying to fuck, like everybody. So I was like, oh my God, I have a friend. Like, this is different for me here. I don't know nobody. So I would get excited, I meet someone and then they was trying to fuck. So it was just like, oh, okay, I see what this is like out here. So yeah, you just gotta be very careful, very tedious about, you know, who you give your music to, who you know, have copyrights, have your shit yours, make it under you because they'll take your shit, they'll fucking sexualize you and make you feel like, oh, you can get this deal if you do this. Fuck all that shit. Take your time and stay prayed up, honestly. So yeah.
Does that make you wanna move somewhere else, or do you just wanna keep pushing on?
I would say I have mixed feelings about it, honestly. I try to take day by day, with things. It does make me want to move somewhere else, but I feel like I've been there a year and a half. I still got a lot to learn, a lot to see, a lot to, try to tackle. So, I plan on giving it a little bit more. And if I feel like nothing's progressing, then yeah, I'm definitely going to leave and try to shoot my shot somewhere else. So, yeah.
And what made you want to do a video to Not Sober?
Not Sober is my newest single. And it's basically saying, like, fuck a relationship. Let's just vibe. Like, let's vibe. We don't have to have any commitment. Let's just enjoy the moment. So I wanted a video to that because I just feel like a lot of people in our day and age, like, they focus on these relationships, and I get it. That's, like, the correct way. But who knows what the fucking correct way is. That's just what people say. But I feel like if you just focus on the energies and the vibes that you receive from these different people and their frequencies, like, who knows, we can have a good time. I mean, yeah, speaking on we're not sober and, we fucking, but, it's deeper than that. It's more so like, let's enjoy the time that we have. We don't got a lot of time. Like, we don't have to feel like we're pressured to jump in a relationship or anything. Like, let's just vibe, make each other feel good, give some energy. Like, yeah, I feel like the video for that was it was needed. It's a very popular song right now, so I feel like the video is needed. They waiting for the video. So, but the video plot is completely different than what the song is saying.
And you don't mind telling us who directed this one?
Yes, Kush for Lunch directed this one. Yeah, really excited. Really excited.
Like an album or another mixtape, EP, what you got going on?
Yes, I will be releasing an EP. It is called Yanam. It's my middle name backwards. A different version of me. That will be released early next year. I've been putting in a lot of work for it. Probably got about 6 tracks, a few short segments, but I'm really excited because it's completely fucking different. Like, Pure K compared to Yanam, different version of me is going to be something like, whoa. It's like, honestly, I feel like just getting away from home opened up my fucking mind. Like, it just, I got creative. I don't know if it's just being in Georgia around fucking more nature and trees and, you know, warm weather. I don't know what it was, but I know that I literally stepped outside of my comfort zone, and I'm just bringing some more different, some more real shit, more diversity.
Can you look into the camera and give advice to people who are wanting to do music or just chase their dreams in general?
So, chasing your dreams, I feel like, don't listen to no fucking body. Because at the end of the day, did they hit their goals? Did they hit their dreams? You know, you got a lot of people like, oh, don't do that, or they'll try to talk down on what you're planning to do. I don't give a fuck if you want to be a garbage man for the rest of your life. Like, do that shit and do it with passion. Do it with all your might. Like, these people, you feel me? I just feel like once you get older, you're like, damn, I wish I would have did this. Damn, I should have did that. And once you rather feel much better knowing, damn, I lived all my life. You only get one. And time is fucking ticking. Time runs out. That's one thing that I feel like is more valuable. People say, oh, money is so valuable. Nah, fuck that. It's time. Because time you can't get back. You can run up a check real quick. But time you cannot get back. So I feel like wasting it, wondering and pondering, should I do this? Should I do this? Well, this make everybody happy. Don't think about what other people think. And that may seem cliche, like everyone says that, but like that's honestly what it is. You make a plan and you pray and you put your foot down on it. You feel me? You make a plan and you set that shit out. Don't just jump out here, you know, blindsided as fuck. You know, make some planning, but definitely, whether it's music or chasing your dreams, like you can't sleep with it. You know, you gotta keep going. Like, you honestly, personally, I feel like you don't need more than 6 hours a day of sleep. That's just me. And I feel like, you know, just being who I am, you have to put a lot of energy and time into what you do to perfect it. And you just don't stop. You just don't stop. Yeah. Yo, it's K and Finn. What it do? I want to shout out my mama. She's the reason why I'm here. I'll put that out there. My dogs, too. I love my babies. Shout out from A to Z. Gang, gang.